I am so excited. I am so excited to be here today. My name's Imfan Akpan. They call me the professor. And I am a professor of accounting, which is amazing. And I'm really appreciative and grateful for my guest today and for the opportunity with this platform to connect and have conversations at a very high level, very practical level about technology, creativity, how this all ties in. So, and really, I'm excited about today's guest because many times you hear me on here, I'm talking about how technology is going to change the way that we do business. It's going to change accounting. It's going to change how things are going to be in the future. But I've got someone who's actually using the technology right now and making those changes and pushing those things forward. So this is going to be a very important conversation because we not only get a perspective at a high level, practical level, we get to look at it from different sides. So I'm excited. Without further ado, I want to give Mr. Indigo Saint the opportunity just to introduce himself, say hello, and then we get into our conversation.
Hey, Wagwan, everybody. Wagwan is the way we say what's up over here, you know. But this is very exciting, so thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, you know, I'm really excited to have a conversation with you, to have this conversation with you. I've been following your channel for like a while now. And it's very, of the things that you share, you share very knowledgeable stuff, you know what I mean? And a lot of the things that you shared are very practical, and a lot of the things that you've spoken about are actually like really happening right now, and not only just like happening, but as you mentioned, I've been able to use some of these technologies, with my craft and with my art, and just the when people say the possibilities are endless, like I'm literally living in that reality right now, and yeah, I'm really happy to be here, and hi to everyone who's tuned in and who's watching right now. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a great conversation.
Oh, thank you so much, Indigo. Okay, I see the CIC is in the chat. Hello, everyone. I wanted to really jump in, Indigo, and get your thoughts. Get your impression. You've got a single that came out on February 12th, and it's an NFT single, That Rocket. If you could just describe a little bit or talk a little bit about that single, the NFT, if you could let everyone know a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we released this brand new single with the videos up on YouTube on my channel, and in the past, what would happen is with the music is what would happen is you go into the studio and you make the song, right? And after you make the song, you upload the song on Spotify and iTunes, and maybe perhaps you make a music video for it, and you go and you put it up on YouTube, right? The way in which traditional platforms monetize content is symbolic, to be honest. As smaller artists, right? Smaller artists, we get literally crumbs. You know, for example, I think I have over 60 songs on my Spotify. Since 2018, in total, what I've garnered from the streaming is about $50, And that's since 2018. So think about that's about like what 6 years. This will be the 6th year. And that's $50, and I'm doing pretty well in my community and for the level of artist that I am. You know what I'm saying? But then with NFT technology, with NFTs, it's presenting everyone an opportunity to monetize in a way that's fair. Monetize in a way that's fair. And with the single that we did, that we released, and the NFT that we released, it's not just about the song, and it's not just about how much are we gonna sell this NFT for, right? It's about what are we gonna give back to the community, because from my side, it's that, right? But then now, if you think from a consumer perspective, right, how much do you get paid for listening to music? That model is hasn't been created to benefit either the consumer or the artist. It's there, it's set up to profit big business, record labels, the bigger artists, and we created this NFT, and this is a smart NFT. So you get an NFT that has utility for one. It's giving people access into this concert that we're doing pretty soon. And also you get crypto. You get soul tokens within this NFT. So we backed this NFT off the merit of this project of Phantasma, right? Of Phantasma Soul and the technology that they've created, the smart NFT technology. Imagine an NFT. You can put an NFT within an NFT, kind of like a Russian doll. You can put an NFT within an NFT within an NFT, and you can upgrade this NFT, and it's an opportunity for whoever gets these NFTs to build more upon their portfolios, and to build what I'd like to believe long lasting wealth. You know what I mean? And it's that, and again, just being able to do this is really great. I mean, I otherwise wouldn't have had access to this type of tech, but we're living in a world right now where there's this parity now. I have access to the same tech as someone in the United Kingdom, someone in Australia, someone in the US, and it's really great, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and you said access, and I look in the comments about the rooster crowing. Indigo is in Zimbabwe. It's 5 a.m. and this is one hardworking man, and it makes me think about the access, how we're able to connect in that way. I know we have social media. I understand that allows us to connect. But this is allowing us, in the way I see it, in a new way, to actually have that direct access to the artist. And I'm curious, Indigo, do you see your fan base changing? I know you're a very famous artist in Zimbabwe, but do you see the NFT and the technology allowing things to shift in a broader direction?
Yeah, I should apologize to Luis in the back.
No worries. You're a hardworking guy.
I think it's mad because I was up before it, so I'm taking its job. but yeah, with with my audience, with my audience, I try as much as possible to um not use the phrase fan base, or the word fan. You know, I think a more appropriate word is community. You know,
Oh, that's good.
and you know, because again, the music that I make is for the people that I've been called to serve. And um, community is community is what's brought me. That's what's brought me this far. You know, that's what's brought me this far. I take care of my community, and the community takes care of me. And what's happened is, ever since I started using these NFTs, ever since we started making these NFTs, I've had access now to broader community, to the crypto community. And and the crypto community is pretty vast. You have different sets of people. Everyone is excited about the project that they're in. Everyone has expectations of these companies, right? Everyone is pretty much in it for the same purpose, grow wealth, as investors, you know, and a lot of people are looking for utility. A lot of people are looking for, um, the next Apple, the next Google, and I get to connect for one with these individuals, people like, you know, um, in the last 6 7 months, the people that I otherwise wouldn't have met, and the community is growing, and the community is growing, and I'm getting to learn more about a lot more people around the world. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing, bro. It's such a beautiful thing. Definitely um broadening that community. You know what I'm saying? And the connections are so deep. For a lot of people, I ask sometimes, like, where people from, and it's like, wow, like, I'm having a conversation with someone from India, having a conversation with someone from the United Kingdom. It's like, when else or where else would I have been able to do that? Because I can't interact with these people, on Spotify, for example. I can't interact with my listeners on Spotify, right? But with NFTs, it's and it's deeper. It's deeper. It's such a beautiful thing, bro. Yeah, like, definitely, like, the community is growing.
You made a great point, and I'm glad you mentioned community. That was really, really good. And I've got to tell you, so it made me think about something. Um, One thing I know is that I think now I'm not a music person, but I did uh, find out that I think it was Sway Calloway, had retweeted. So he did a retweet about you, and I was thinking about you. Well, that name stood out. So number one, I'm not a music person, but that name stood out. And I was watching Netflix last night, and there's a documentary on Kanye West. Very interesting. And I see parallels. And one of the things, he was looking to be featured on an MTV show, and he got featured on. They interviewed him on one episode of one show, and then he wanted to get on another show, and the gentleman was mentioning Sway, same person that mentioned you. So I thought, I was like, wow, this is amazing, And I was thinking about, he was looking to Kanye West was looking to get on this show, get on this platform, and then now I'm thinking about, Sweat. That same person is mentioning you, and you've got a concert coming on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that's going to tie in? And it's virtual, so you're using technology as well.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot.
I yeah, I mean the Sway retweet was incredible, dude. I mean, and that wasn't purely based off the merit of the freestyle that I did. And I mean, I was rapping at a really, really high level on that freestyle. But what happened is again, like what I mentioned about community, you know, um, I put it out to the community like, yo, it'd be really crazy if Sway could see it. And um, people got behind me, the people got behind that tweet and they started tagging Sway, and they started tagging Sway, and he eventually saw it, and what that's done for me and for my career is immense. Um, since then, in my city, I started getting booked a lot more for events. I started getting booked for events. I think from August last year till Jan, I think I did about 12 shows. I was the most booked artist in my city, and now I have this beautiful opportunity with this virtual concert and again, to connect with again with an audience of people that prior might not have heard of me or heard my music, and the concert is it's the purposeful and profitable summit. It's going to be the concert's going to happen after the summit, and it's on mental health, and my music, most of my music is mental health themed, um, so around raising awareness around mental health issues and helping to reduce the stigma. And a lot of people who are going to be in the summit are professionals within the field. And I've curated this this concept in a way in which I can speak around these issues. I can speak around and from a personal perspective and things that I've experienced. Life is already hard as it is, and you can imagine what it must be like as an artist wherever you are in the world where this is not a very common thing to be doing, and um, even getting support, from friends or family, how many people make it in the music industry. And I was watching that Kanye West documentary too, and it's sad. It's like you have to have a ridiculous amount of self belief for you to get as far as you can get, you know. But it's sad. It's like right now, the technologies that we can use to leverage, the technologies that we can use, like the NFT technology. Now, I've performed this virtual concert from my home city, from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? And people around the world are going to be able to watch it. People around the world are going to be able to get NFTs from this virtual concert. And it's like at this point, it's like it really doesn't matter where you're from. You might be an artist in India, you might be an artist in Thailand, you might be an artist in Malawi, or in South Africa, or in Zambia, or in the US, or in Brazil, wherever you are, this tech is there, and we can, the world has just become a lot smaller than it was during Web 2.0. You know what I mean? So this is great. This is great. I you know, I'm gonna shill myself here for a little, but I highly encourage people like to come and watch the concert. I um I left my heart, on that stage, and um, yeah, and a lot of the things that I spoke of are things that I think a lot of people can relate to, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm looking in the chat. There's so much going on in the chat. Shook Focus, he said it's crazy to think about no flight necessary. And I think that that's an important point, because many times you hear these conversations about crypto. Really, you hear the conversation about what we've been talking about, what you've been mentioning, and what you've been doing. NFT, crypto, you're creating content, community, you're connecting using technology. We hear that many of these things, usually it's something that's not very good, right? So it's not very good. But on the flip side, we're seeing how this is working and how it's actually building, and it's connecting and creating community across the globe, and how this is bringing people together in a positive way. And then if you think about it, you've got so many different things going on, from the NFT, from the crypto, the song, virtual concert. These are all parts of business. So these are different models, and they're all coming together as well. And I gotta say, you're executing at a very high level and in a great way. Oh wow, we've got Dr. Robinson here as well. So who's hosting the event. So this is awesome. This is great. I want to get into the chat. There was something that I thought was very interesting, and I'm going to ask you about this. Someone quoted you, and I'm looking for it in the chat. So yeah, Rule said that you wrote something that don't quit, well, something like this. So if you can clarify it, don't quit when you're tired, quit when it's done. What do you mean by, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So, um, I think what happens more often than not is, especially within the crypto space, I think a lot of people can relate to this part. Um, you get really excited about a project. You're really excited about um, this new Inu. Let's call it Professor Inu, right? This brand new token, right? And in it, when you get into it, like everyone expects the project to go up, right? That's, it's great when the project is going up, right? Because you got in, and then you experience a dip, right? And it goes down by 40%, or in this moment right now where crypto is down, right? And it's very easy to lose hope. It's very easy to get out of your investment, to recoup whatever it is that you had invested, which you lost also at this point, right? Um,
Mhm.
and it's like, you know, now you have to start remembering why you got into it, right? That's it's very demotivating, it's very tiring. Losing money is not great, right? It's not a great thing at all, right? And again, like now getting to that point where you remember your reasons why, and you start to think like, have you got this? Were you in this to make a 20% profit and be out? Were you in this to build wealth? And and is wealth also something that you build in a space of 2 months, in a space of a year, or is wealth something that you build over a lifetime? And that's kind of what I was getting at. And again, also like from a musical, from my background with music, I've been doing this since 2010. And I don't really believe I'm at the top of my game. Um, I'm still a very, very good artist, but I also do understand that I have a way to go. I still still gonna learn. I'm still gonna improve. I'm still gonna get better. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna collaborate a lot more. I'm gonna learn a lot. There's gonna be a lot of other things that are gonna come out. A lot of other technologies that are gonna come out that I'm gonna be able to utilize, to use. You know what I'm saying? To leverage, to share. And again, when I'm done with um what's for me, I also have to impart this to everyone else in my community. So it's like I can't get tired now because what I've been called to what I've been called to serve for isn't complete. You know, um, I think Rick Ross says something like, a boss is someone who makes sure that everyone else is eating. And it's sad, and it's like, in a family, it's not enough if you're the only one who's eating. Your mom eats, your dad eats, your siblings eat, your kids, and what of their kids thereafter, and it's sad, and it really stems, I was just like thinking about that. I read a lot also, and I read, you know, um, I get my inspiration from great men and women who kind of undone what was deemed impossible, and they stopped when it was done and not when they were tired, and this believe at some point they were tired. The disappointment, the no's, how many times you hear no, how many times you try out something and it doesn't actually work out in the way that you planned, and it's sad. And it's like, don't quit when you're tired, quit when the work is finished, stop when the work is finished, and thereafter your legacy will live long after yourself. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, that is very good. That is very good. Having and I see this in the chat, having a why is very important. And you know, you one thing to think about as well, because many times we get focused on a lot of times, the the journey, but the process is also important. And a lot of the things that you're doing is very important, and it's important for people to see that. To see you've got a lot of complicated things that are happening: NFT, crypto. You do a virtual concert. You're creating content, so intellectual property. So you're doing all this, putting this all together, and reaching and connecting people. And I think one of the things for me, which I'm so glad that you're on this platform, is many of my the audience on here are students of mine, and they get to see this in action. They get to see what you're doing, and many times just one thing. So they can take away one idea, they take away one thing that you're doing, and then that can have a positive impact on them. And what I mean by that is they can take that idea and either work with it themselves or share it with someone because they see what you're doing. So I think that is very important to have that why, to understand that you're impacting people not only through your music or what you're creating in your community, but you're setting an example. You're also a trailblazer. So you're pushing through and pushing forward for other people. So, and I'm certain, we're going to look back in 2 years, and you're a global superstar, and we're looking back on this moment fondly. So I really think this is good. I think we're getting close to our time, so I want to be respectful of that. But I also want you to just share, how can individuals get in touch with you if they want to hear your music? I know you mentioned on YouTube, but if you could tell people where you prefer them to go to listen to your music, where you'll be, your connecting points.
Absolutely. I think also just I think it's something that I just really wanted to share. I'm from Zimbabwe, right? And the barrier of entry for a lot of these things very high. It's it's sometimes it's seemingly impossible. Our banking system is terrible. Um, you know, I can't even speak on the poverty line here. You know, but it's sad. It's sometimes I think if I had access, if people in my country had access to just a normal banking system, things would be a lot more different. And people around the world, for most people, um, they don't share those circumstances. It's a lot different, and it's a lot different. I've always thought like, um, if I could, if I could walk into a bank, and deposit the money, um, I would DCA all year round. You know what I'm saying? And again, the same principles of investing, of never invest more than you can afford to do. And we all again we all have access um to this tech. We all have access to this tech, and if it's not a struggle, if it's not that much of a struggle for you wherever you are. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was somewhere else in the world, this is what I'd be doing. And it's sad. And I think sometimes we don't see how blessed we are. Again, I'm speaking like this, and again, I know I'm speaking like this from a point of privilege. Not everyone has access to these things in my country, but I do. Not everyone has access to a good internet connection in my country, but I do. And I spend that, and I use these resources, learning, as much as possible, as much as I can, that I can share with the people who can't. But I just really wanted to share that. But to reach out, I'm friends of Indigo everywhere. I'm friends of Indigo on Twitter and on Instagram. That's where I spend most of my time. Be great, my music is on Spotify. Indigo saying, um, we have these NFTs. Um, I I I highly I highly recommend these NFTs. I think they're really dope. I think we sold out our first batch of NFTs, which is incredible. I mean, the work Underdog has been doing is insane. Um, you know, and I have to give credit where credit is due. We worked very closely on this project, and we sold out our first batch of NFTs. You know what I mean? And still have, I think, four more in the series that we're still yet to release. Um, but it's been great so far, and I mean, that's where my music is on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, on streaming platforms really, and on YouTube, and yeah, and I'm a really approachable dude. So hit me up on Twitter. We can have conversations. You can DM me, and we can talk all things life and crypto. And if it's really inspiring, I just might write a song about it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yes, that's me, bro.
Well, Indigo, thank you so much. I mean, this guy, he is so humble, and is really a trailblazer, and someone who is going to push things to well, not going to. He is pushing things to another level and setting that example. I think about someone named uh, Roger Bannister. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Roger Bannister. So when I think about Indigo Saint, I think about Roger Bannister, and he was the first person to run a mile uh, under 4 minutes. So he broke the 4 minute mile, and many people thought it was impossible. And he became a hero because of that. And after he did it, this is why I really, why I see a parallel with Indigo and Roger Bannister, because after he did it, he was a trailblazer and opened the door. Then all of a sudden there were people all over the place who were able to do it and to move forward. And from doctors saying it's impossible, he broke the record. You get high schoolers now doing that. So I think Indigo saying you're a trailblazer, you're doing some great things. You'll continue to do some great things. Please make sure to support and to check him out. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone who jumped in. We've got the CIC in here, Underdog. We've got Rule. Oh, I see Shook Focus. And of course, we've got Dr. Ajita Robinson. Thank you so much. For all of those others who I haven't mentioned, there's a long list in the chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thanks, Rule. And you have a good one. You have a good one. Make sure to leave some comments as well. Thank you.